Hey there. Happy first Wednesday in February. Of course, we know February is Black History Month. We're going to continue this series calling it Carrying Your Flame for 2026. Of course, this is Black History Month. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and responding to this podcast as well as this live talk. Welcome to Carrying the Flame 2026, where we're honoring legacy, igniting the present, and manifesting the future. This month, we are stepping into Black History Month with intentions, not as a ritual, but as a reclamation. We are reclaiming our mental health this month for the month of February. Today, we're talking about the flame, how we inherited the brilliance, the burden, and the blueprint. It's your girl, Morticia Sherman. Yes, I do go by the unapologetic therapist. Things are changing, things are transpiring. I am also known as a disruptor. I have been known as a disruptor since I started saying that I was the unapologetic therapist because I'm here to break those stigma barriers that we also go up under within our community, within everything that's going on about us, from things that we heard about our past. One of the things that I really do not like is cliches, these family dynamics of saying things are only to be held in a household. A child is to be seen and not heard. How do we give our children a voice if they're not heard? That's how a lot of this stuff that goes on behind the scenes about a child being molested, a child being abused, a child being raped is because of the silencing of parents telling their children that they need to be seen and not heard. Well, if you're only seen and nobody can tell you what's going on in their life, that somebody's touching me inappropriately or anything, then how can you sit up there and get mad or minimize what they're saying has happened to them when they become adults? So get that out of your stinking thinking by saying a child is to be seen and not heard, and what goes on in his house stays in his house, those things like that. So we're talking about the flames that we inherited. May they be burdens. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for joining. May they be burdens. May they be brilliance. May it be the blueprint. Let's talk about those things, about how you're carrying the flame and the torch for generations beyond yourself. How are you, the individual, rewriting the narrative of the negative things that you've heard as a child, the negative things that you've learned as an adult, and those things that you're carrying over from generation upon generation? So, the rise of culture, reclaiming the media and education, the surge of those in the Black and Brown community, Black-led storytelling and film, TV, and literature. So this past weekend, there was this whole thing about going online and going in and watching Becoming by Michelle Obama. For those who did it, thank you. For those who didn't do it, we don't even know how the turnout even happened, whether you participated or not. But here's the thing about that. Why does it have to be that for us to reclaim things about us and reclaiming things about our lives and things that we want people to have a voice behind? I am an advocate, a huge advocate when it comes to mental health, the breaking the stigma negative, the negativity, the belief that goes on behind those who are of other cultures, the Black and Brown community, those who are outside of the Black and Brown community. The stigma. Why do you want to dislike anybody based on your beliefs and thinking that you're more than or better than the next person when you're actually not? We all need each other in some kind of capacity. So the stereotype, the oversimplified, that part of belief about a group of people. Why do we have to do that when it comes to the things that we inherited, the burdens of being who you are, loving who you are in your skin, and not caring about who or what somebody says or feel about you. I hear a lot of people, I don't care. I don't care. Well, stop showing that you care. If you don't care and it doesn't bother you, then keep it pushing, keep it moving, keep your mental health in order. Stop hiding behind those barriers. Stop hiding behind those blurred lines in life. So, states redistricting and restricting Black history curriculums. The communities creating their own. How do we do that as a community? How do we do that as a whole? History does matter. Just like your mental health matters, history does matter. We learn from history. We learn from those things that we see that happen historically. I am I love Greek mythology. I know a lot of people don't watch it because they're saying that it's fictitious, but I learned a lot from that. Of course, we see the eagle. If you want to go back to when they talk about dragons and stuff like that, and the phoenix bird. If you see that, the eagle does the same thing. It goes and hides itself in a cave till it breaks its beak, and then it comes out. It plucks all of its feathers. Then it comes out and it's brand new, flying in the air. An eagle lives for, I say, eternity. But when we talk about the tension and the tension between representation and tokenism. So when we talk about those things and how we see things in life in our own perspective, I say don't minimize. Nobody should ever minimize your perspective and how you see things and how you go about life. But I say this: if you want respect of your perspective, then you respect the others. Because again, we hear opinions all the time. But then I have to go back to the creating of our own community. If you exit out everything in history, then how do we really exist? How do individuals truly exist if we don't want to talk about history? Everybody has a history. Every culture, every creed, every nationality, every community. We're not negating Black history. I would not ever negate Black history. But this month, we're talking about the flames that we inherited. Today, Wednesday, February 5th, the first Wednesday of February. Of course, it's Black History Month. Things that we learn. Why in 2026 is becoming the year of we'll teach it ourselves. Don't forget to teach your children where Black history come from. Don't forget to teach your children how Black history even started. There are some things that I'm going to talk about tonight that some of you all may have not ever heard of when it comes to Black history and mental health. What happens when we stop waiting for permission and tell our stories? We need to tell a story. A story is always being created. Black history didn't just stop in history. Black history is continuous. You're seeing more and more people talking about their lives, how their lives transition, where they're going, how they're moving. Stop hiding your history. Stop hiding what it is that we need to teach in the community, in the culture. Why does everything always have to be slave driven, struggle driven? Why we can't show how we prosper? Why we can't show how we've grown? Why we can't show things of how we're changing and evolving? We should be evolving all the time. Every day we should be evolving. There should be everything written, a new story written about Black history. Why do we always have to show all the negativity towards everything? I need to see some positive. I love seeing the positivity. I don't negate the negative. We need to see the positivity of how things are changing in the Black history, in Black communities, Black and brown communities. Black History Month, we're there. how digital platforms are becoming modern day freedom schools. How is it that? How is it that digital platforms are now becoming today's modern schools? Why do we have to wait for somebody to post something on YouTube about Black history? Tell your children, tell your family members about things that happened that you grew from in Black history. For me, I'm the first Black therapist in my family, I believe, but I don't mind sharing that. I don't mind sharing the things that got me to this point. I don't mind sharing my story because every story needs to be told. Somebody needs to hear your story and how you got to where you are. The power of a community led behind archives and oral history. So, the power of community led behind archives, things that happen. Let's also talk about those things that we've achieved. Let's also talk about the verbal history, what's going on. Why do we always have to migrate when something bad is happening? Let's migrate when something good is happening. And I'm going to share something that's good that's happening within my company that's out here that's targeting the thing about stigma, these group beliefs about how people in the Black and Brown community are acting, how we can't come together as a unit and support each other, how we cannot come together as a unit and be there for each other, how we are the main ones, and I don't, like I said, the negativity, how we are the main ones that will snatch each other down as well as gatekeep. But then we're quick to say how other communities, how other nationalities are acting, how they're supporting each other. Well, here it is. You have that opportunity. You have that opportunity to change the trajectory. How are you carrying your flame in 2026? Are you still gatekeeping? Are you still holding on to, I struggle from this, so I'm not going to support nobody? I struggle from that. Nobody was there for me when I struggled. Nobody was there for me when I was trying to do things. Nobody was there for me when well, you may have been looking at the wrong people to be there for you and during that time. My discipline and my intentions for 2026 is more partnership and collaboration with those who are out here advocating for the rights of those who have mental health disorders, mental health illnesses. Again, we are treating the illness and not the person. But here's the thing, it's the internal that we're focusing on. The internal, because you can show up externally booted and suited, but on the internal side, not healed. I want to see you healed. I want to see you win. So when we talk about mental health in Black history, how generational survival shaped our nervous system, that right there alone is a mouthful. How our generational survival shaped our nervous system. Now you're at the point where you're too afraid to go here, you're too afraid to go there, you think your police are going to target you. All of these things have targeted nervous system of the Black community. No matter where, you're concerned about your sons, you're concerned about your daughter, you're concerned about your grandchildren. All of these things are attacking your nervous system and it's causing high anxiety, it's causing low motivation, all of these things, because we need to come together again as a community and carry the flame of brilliance and rewrite the blueprint. Look at the blueprint and add to the blueprint. Just like when you're building a house and you want to add on an extra room, do that with your family. Add on the decreasing of not wanting to do things because your nervous system is saying, if we go here, we're going to be judged, we're going to be stereotyped, we're going to have a stigma of this. All of this is going to go on. The difference between resilience and over functioning. What is going on with resilience? We are a resilient community. When it comes to the Black and Brown community, we are very resilient. We have come so far, but do we always have to? Do we always have to? When we come so far, target our own to make them feel like they're less than? Do we always have to do that? Just because that person is not where you are financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things, then you target them and make them feel like they're less than. Stop doing that. Pick your brother and your sister up. Give them a bit of history. Tell them that you're resilient. Tell them that they're powerful. This is Black History Month to me is everyone. But unapologetically, I have to say this. Carry your flame. Be the one who rewrites the narrative by building a strong community and doing the things that we all were created to do. And that is to be here with a purpose. Why rest is radical for a historical connection. Rest is radical when it comes to historical connection because you need to sit back and gather information. Don't go by what everybody says. I would always say, somebody say, they say, show me who they is. I got something for they. Let's carry this flame starting in 2026 with a whole new perspective on Black history. Let's go into this doing what we know best how to do. And that's always rewriting the narrative. Creative, we're dynamic, we're powerful. We are awesome thinkers. So, where's your flame? How's your flame burning? I invite you, my listeners, to breathe, reconnect, and acknowledge the weight that you have carried that didn't start with you. We carry a lot. We do. We take up on more than what we're supposed to take up on. Everything doesn't belong to you to carry. But when it comes to Black history, share that information with your children. That way, that narrative of struggle, that narrative of not having. I had a conversation, and I have to use this story. I had a conversation with my grandson this weekend. And with my grandson, he made the statement, I can never be a millionaire, Nana. And I said, why? He said, because I was told. I said, who told you that? Who told you at the age of 9 that you could not come up with something, an invention or something that will make you a millionaire? Because he asked the question about Target. It was so funny because we rode in the parking lot and Target was there. And he said, how much money does Target make? I said, I don't know. So, of course, that smartphone, the iPhone, he went in and he asked, how much money does Target accumulate in a year? And it told him. He said, I could not ever make that much money. I said, who told you that lie? Who told you that lie that you could not make what Target makes in a year? Do you see what I'm saying about this Black History Carrying a Flame for 2026? This series is going to go on until I can't talk about it anymore about carrying a flame. It's all about not reinventing, but rethinking our mindset, changing our mindset, changing the mindset of our generation, changing the mindset of our children, changing the mindset of those who we come across in the Black and Brown community, in the Black community. Teach the history. A lot of our kids don't even know who invented what. A lot of them don't. So when my grandson made that statement that he could not be a millionaire or a billionaire, I challenged him because I want him to know that he can do ever any and everything that he want to do to make himself a billionaire in the right way. We talk about those things. But then I'm also creating generational wealth for him and my granddaughter and all the other grandchildren that I may have. That's what I call Black history. That's what I call making history, making things change. Thank you, ClickSite. Yeah, thank you. There's music. Thank you for joining. Everybody, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining. But we're talking about carrying the flame for 2026. Yes, I know it's Black History Month, but what history are you making? What history are you making? How are you advocating for your flame? How are you advocating for the flame that you're carrying, that you inherited? My grandmothers and my grandfathers were very resilient people, and I sat up under them and learned a great deal. I love my generational, I call them seasonal citizens, those who have been here, who have grown through it. And I take what I learned and I make it applicable to create new avenues in Black history. So, how did it first start? I'm going to spotlight somebody you may have never heard of. Lucy Hicks Anderson, one of the first documented Black, of course, she may have been transgender, but woman to fight for marriage, equality, gender recognition. But this happened in 1940s. Lucy Hicks Anderson, a pioneer in identity, autonomy, and self-determination long before the language even exists. A lot of times we don't know these things. Why? Because they're hidden. I love every community, Black, brown, Hispanic, LGBTQ plus. We all have a purpose. We all serve a purpose. Why should I downplay you because I want to be seen? No, I'm not doing that. Unapologetically, I don't have time for it, because there's a purpose and a reason why you're here. That's why the suicidal rate is so high. That's why a lot of violence is out here. You can call it ignorance if you want to. You can call it stupidity if you want to. What it is people are not allowed to tell their story because people are either gatekeeping or they are bringing about a stigma or they're stereotyping. That's why. When someone wants to tell their story, you shut them down. Do you know what you're doing to that person? Do you not know how much someone needs to hear that story? Why would you shut them down? So, we're talking about carrying the flame for 2026. Here's one thing I want you to think about. What flame are you carrying that didn't start with you and it is still yours to hold? What flame, and I'm talking about what have you inherited? The flame that you have inherited, that you got. It's a flame you're carrying that you did not start with. You didn't start with it. And it's still yours to hold. What is something that you learned in a generation that is a flame that needs to be carried 2026, that was passed on? In the biblical world, they call it a mantle. What flame are you carrying from your generation, from the generation before you, your mom, your grandmother? What flame are you carrying that was not yours, that rose up inside of you, that now you're carrying, you're holding that flame? For me, I remember at the age of 14, 15, when my first attempt for suicide. And in that, I remember saying that I was going to be a generational curse breaker. because that's what I understood it to be. I said that I was going to be a generational curse breaker. I was going to be a generational behavior breaker. Where I am right now is what I said I wanted to be, which is a therapist, mental health. Because again, then our family members did not go to therapists. We went to the neighbor next door, we went to grandma, we went to all these people. And especially if you was a child, you had to hold on to whatever it was that you were dealing with at that time. Because again, that's that statement, a child is to be seen and not heard. I didn't do that with my children. They were heard and seen. My grandkids are heard and seen. I don't do that. I don't play with that. Because one thing I said, even when I had my grandson, I will, I used to say it with my kids when they were friends, when around their friends, I'll fight a child behind my grandchild. But more or less was, you're not going to take away his innocence. And then I have to refix or not fix, but correct something someone felt like they needed to take away from him, even with my granddaughter. That's why my children knew exactly what I went through or grew through as a child, because I wanted them to be able to understand and watch the behavior and see, so they'll know when they have children, you come talk to me. Come talk. If somebody doing something to you, come talk to me, because I can handle that. You're a child. You can't fight a grown person, but I can. I can do a whole lot. So all that, them cliches, you can miss me with that, because I will tear them down, break them down, all of that. So when it comes to a mantle that you have inherited, be the spokesperson, be that general, possess that mantle that you're carrying, that flame, and burn out those things that are not good for your next generation. Be that advocate, be that spokesperson. One thing I bring about in a session, and I have to share this, when we talk about things such as family fatigue, a lot of times people want to be stuck with family and hold on to family dynamics. And I say, if I'll ask, are you a believer? And they'll say, yeah. I say, well, let me hit you with something. And I'll do this. Let me hit you with Genesis. When Abraham, and God told Abraham, get thee from among your kindred, because they wasn't ready. And it was things that he wanted to do with them. Love your family. You can love them, but you also have your own purpose that you need to tend to and deal with and grow through. So you can break that generational behavior, generational pattern. Some people want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck. I'm not trying to be stuck. I love you unconditionally. I mean, I love you from where you are and all your mess and all, because I'm not going to judge you. This is a judgment free zone. Those are the things that you're dealing with. And until you're ready to heal, oh, there, right here is where we heal. Right here is where we're going to confront those things, give it a name, give it a title, give it a proper burial. I don't have time for all this roller coaster over and over again thing that's going on with families and generations. We got to stop it. What's your flame? What flame are you carrying that didn't start with you and it's still yours, that you're holding on to? So I'm going to call you out on this one. I encourage you to go and do a voice note, start journaling more, writing your thoughts down, your dreams. I have people doing the 30, 60, 90. What are you doing in the next 30 days? Your next 30 days, what are you doing in the next 90 days? 60 days. What are you doing that's going to roll over to your next 60 days? Because I want you to be in the present of the things that you want to manifest in your life. I don't, there's no need for you really to do the whole year, but some people can. Hey, hands off, hands up, hands off. But when it comes to where you see yourself manifesting your life, you have to start with that 30. Do something in the next 30 days generationally that you have not done before. Do what is that one thing that you see in your generation, in your family, that has not been done that you can do in the next 30 days. It may take you 60 days. It may take you 90 days. Your flame is there for 2026 to make new Black history, to make it new. Black History Month just not February for me. That don't cut it. It's every day, every month. That's what it is. So what are you holding? What mantle do you have in your life that has been passed on to you that it wasn't passed on to you before? And like they used to say, it's in your shanana that you need to see changed. That you need to step forward with your flame and change and rewrite the narrative of your family. Why does your Black history have to be negative? Why does your Black history always have to be struggle? Why does your Black history always have to be the have nots? Because you see everybody have. Why can't you rewrite the narrative? Why can't you rewrite that story? Why can't you change the mental behavior and thought process that we were also taught growing up as children? Why do you have to continue that cycle? You have a flame that you're carrying. You have a flame that's inside of you. Don't allow nobody to put that flame out because of stinking thinking. Don't let nobody put that flame out because they don't see the bigger picture. Be Abraham. Get thee from among your kindred. Get thee from among your people of negative thinking that are stigma bearing, stereotyping, because that's how they perceive the world to be. I hear it from all cultures that they are concerned about the state of America. I'm not just talking about Black people, that they're concerned about the state of America, that they're concerned about the state of everything that's going on. Can we change that narrative? Yeah, we can. That's just only one voice. Did we really need a president? I mean, where all this stuff come from? Let's really get to the real narrative of all this stuff about history. Let's really tell the true story about history and rewrite it. History is to be written. History is to be created. You carry the flame to rewrite and recreate history. Why do we have to wait till someone fall? Why do we have to wait till someone is hurt? Why do Let's do history like this, and I've said this. When someone is afraid, when someone is afraid, they do not come as one. They come as many. When someone is afraid, they don't come to you as one person. They got to have one, then they got to have a witness, then they got to have a witness, then they have to have somebody else to witness of a witness. Come to the fight as one. If you win the fight between just you and I, then you won. Nobody got to witness that. But why do you have to bring a clan of people? It wouldn't have been me at all. I wouldn't have given you no opportunity to bring more than just yourself. So I encourage you. What legacy feels heavy for you? What legacy feels empowering for you? What legacy you want to create for you and your next generation and the ones that come behind you, your children's children, your at least 4 generations, I was told. I believe that. At least 4 generations. Can you say that you can change the dynamics of that? Change the mindset of that? I'm already starting with my grandson. My granddaughter is already there. But again, when I heard my grandson say that he can never make the money that Target makes, I challenged him. That's the flame that I carry. I'm breaking generational barriers. I'm breaking generational boundaries. I'm disrupting behavior because we will not be writing the story of I struggled. What did you learn from that? I say this: you can either be the student and learn, so you can be the teacher that teaches. Be the student that learns, or be the teacher. After you've learned, be the teacher that teaches. For me, my life was I was the student that learned, and now I'm teaching my grandchildren and those around me. May it be through therapy sessions, through workshops, through events I'm hosting, changing your mindset. It all starts with a thought. Just because your mom thought it was okay to get services and assistance and tell the blood type and who was all in the household and all this information, do you have to? No. Just because your family members did not own a home, own property, own land, own cattle, why do you have to wait for 40 acres and a mule when you can do that for yourself? Learn how to manage your money. Get some financial literacy. Learn how to change your eating behavior. Back in the days when families were growing things on land, you didn't hear about all these illnesses. Why not grow your vegetables? Why not grow your fruit? Why not do that for yourself? Because why? We don't have time? Oh no. You got time. You got time to wake up and get on social media in the morning and watch social media all day. Get you one of them raised planters, grow you some cantaloupe, some watermelon or something. Why do you have to succumb to where society and the world says that you have to stay in the struggle when your flame is burning? That's what puts your flame out. That's what keeps you regular. When you're not regular. You are not. You're not regular. You're peculiar. You're different. And I'm going to say that. So I'm sharing with you, which we're excited, and that's why we do what we do. We're hosting our annual event for the love of basketball and mental health awareness on February 22nd. That is this year. Start time is 10 a.m. Come with your team. You can come with no more than 5 players on your team. And y'all can split up $75. Come on now. 5 players on your team. Team entry is $75. To get inside of the event is $5 for those who are under the age of 10. If you're over 10 years old, it's $10. There's food, there's games, there's prizes, there's free parking. It's at Melrose Community Park. Come out. It's just a Sunday. Come be the king of the court versus the stigma. Let's break mental health and all barriers that it comes with. And let's kick out the stigma behind mental health. Let's stand up. Let's pull up. Let's show up. Let's be there. Like I said, it's a 3-on-3 tournament. And sometimes it may be 4-on-4. If you got four players, it may be 4-on-4, but no more than five members on your team, because I want you to be able to enjoy and play. It's going to start off with pool play first, and it will end in bracket play. So there's going to be a first place winner, bragging rights, second place winner, third place winner. But it's all for us to come together as a community and debunk the stigma on mental health. It's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. And like I said, Black history is every month for me. But right now, the state of the economy, things that are going on out here in the world, your mental health is important. That is your wealth. Your mental health is your wealth. And the proceeds that come with this tournament, for those who are losing their insurance, those who can't even pay their full copay, those who need to have somewhere to go to have talk therapy to be able to get their healing started. That's why we are doing this. It's a community effort, it's a community event. We all have been to a point where we are trying to figure things out about life. Be the voice behind the reason why you want to see someone become healed. Be that person, be that advocate, be that flame. Because there are so many people losing their jobs, losing their residence, losing so much stuff, and they've been in jobs for years and just don't know where to go. And there's so many therapists out here that are out here ready to help them heal. Now, you're not going to get the sugar coating from me. I'm not here to make nothing sweet about you getting your healing, because I want to see you heal. I want to see you win. I want to see you with the right coping skills and coping mechanisms, and not going to these vices that you go to for drinking, smoking, all this other stuff, self medicating. This is all holistic, and I'm 100% real. And that's why I say, and I have that statement in the t shirt that says, "You come for me, I will arrive." And that's even in your mental health. You come for me, I'm going to arrive as that therapist that you need to talk to, that's going to get you to the place you want to get to. And it's not going to be an overnight thing, but we will get there. So, carry your flame for 2026. It's Black History Month. Let's celebrate each other. Let's empower each other. Let's make a difference. So, in a closing, with gratitude, grounding, and a reminder, you are not just a descendant of history, you are the architect of what's to come next. You are not just the descendant of history, you are an architect of what's to come next. So when you know better, you do better, and you respond differently. It's your girl, Morticia Sherman. Enjoy this Wednesday. Of course, I know I didn't get a chance to do Monday's manifesto. I will be back on it this Monday. I am doing some things within the community, for the community. That's a part of my flame that I'm carrying for 2026, in my discipline and in my intentionality, to make sure that I'm reaching those who are to be reached. Which reminds me of a song. I'm not going to do that. There was a song I grew up with that says to reach the unreachable stars. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that came in my head. But, hey, it may have told my age, but it's okay. And I don't mind. So, good night. Enjoy your Wednesday. Until next Wednesday, let's reignite the flame of each other by carrying the mantle that needs to be carried, the fire that needs to roar, to break those stigma and generational barriers that we also carry, that we inherited as a Black community. Until then, I'll see you next Wednesday. I love you to life, and there's nothing you can do about it.